Hello there, this is the energy to be aware of for you as an intuitive sensitive in the year moving forward in terms of 2019. So each number I will briefly go over as to what your life code is in relation to your archetype, but stay watching right to the end because I will be looking at this in terms of how this relates to you individually as a whole. Okay, so position 1, we have the 110 energy. So this is for everybody in terms of how you see yourself in your external world, how you go about your world externally, but also how you go around your world in the greater grand scheme of things. So we have in the 110 position, this is really important for people who are a 110, but also for everybody else to be aware of. This year moving forward is the year to deal with any addictions. Okay, so you've got this here in the 110 physical addiction. So things that you find yourself in the habit of that you think this is not a productive habit to keep. Okay, so that can be all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be the standard addictions, but anything that's along the lines of this is not a good habit to keep with. And that habit could even be constant worry. You could be working through that. For you, particularly if you are a 110, this is a dominant thing to be dealing with. Why? Because it's also here in the 110, in the top you've got the judge. So it's got everything to do with judgment. So this year moving forward, it's about releasing judgment. Okay, whether that is self-judgment or how you believe you are seen in the eyes of others. And that's very strong and important for a 110, even though this is indicative for you all as an intuitive sensitive person. Okay, so the 2 energy, what can you be aware of as far as that's concerned? So this is very strong if you are a 2, but in general and how it relates to you as an intuitive sensitive for everybody. So in position 2, so position 2 is about the guru energy, so it's about deep intuitive thought. It's about action before manifestation, before something really comes into being. It's the ideas, it's the flow, it's the force within that, it's the courage within that. In terms of the 2 energy, you've got the trickster there. So it's a case of being aware of what has been taken you by surprise in the past. Okay, so the things that haven't been entirely honest, and this doesn't mean where you haven't been entirely honest, it's the things and behaviors that have occurred in your life previously that kind of caught you off guard, that caught you unawares, that meant that your intuitive instinct wasn't 100% accurate at that particular time. So for you, particularly if you're a 2 or an 11, to be very aware of that and to think about that and how, so that you're not caught unawares again. Okay, and it doesn't mean that you have to be defensive. It's about being, as the word intuition is really about, which is about the ability to see truth. This is in the way of you seeing the truth. Okay, so the trickster is there in the way of you being able to see the truth. So this is about reflecting on things that have occurred in the past where you were caught unaware. Particularly strong for you if you're a 2 or an 11, but it's also indicative for everybody else in terms of your whole tree and your life moving forward for the year ahead. Position 3. Position 3, as in position 3, life code 3 rather. Bearing in mind 2019 is a 3 vibration. Okay, so bear that in mind. That's the dominant energy to be aware of in terms of how you look at them the year ahead. It's been a match with 2018. So this becomes, so 2018, 2019 become a pair. They work together. Now, if you are a life code 3, this is about the storytelling. This is really relevant to the world as a whole, because if you look at the trickster and the storyteller, it's about all the lies that have been told. Okay, so you will see over this year ahead, and this is indicative for all, is that there's been a lot of stories that you're not sure whether they're true or not, or how something's been sold to you, how you've been told about something. All of the things that haven't been the truth will be flushed out. Okay, you'll see those flushed out in this year ahead, because the 2 matches with the 3. Things that you suspected probably in 2018, you'll see them as, yeah, that was a story, in 2019. But for you as an intuitive sensitive, you're much more able and likely to see that. Okay, whereas everyone else maybe is trotting along with the story for longer than they need to, and longer than you will, because you'll be, oh, okay, that's what that is. And what tends to happen is when people feel that they've been part of a story that they didn't want to be part of, they feel angry, aggravated, they blame, they get all righteous about stuff. For you as an intuitive sensitive, this is a warning not to be righteous. Okay, so this 3 vibration, so it's about you, if you're a particular life code 3, about being aware of the story that you have been told, and to view it with more of a, okay, so let's see what my observation of this story is as to whether I believe this to be the truth or not. Okay, so you'll be aware or much more of the storytellers in your life, the ones who haven't been telling the exact truth. As I say, it's a perfect pair with the 2 vibrations. So anything that you were, if you're a life code 3, that you think, I'm not sure that's the truth, that came up this year, it will become very clear in 2019 as to whether it was true or not. Okay, or what to do with it. And these are quite elaborate kind of stories that people, not deliberate lies necessarily, but stories people like to tell themselves that aren't entirely true. And for an intuitive sensitive, truth is always very important, because it gives you an indication as to your level of self-trust and self-truth. You know, it can be that you're not that bothered whether people tell lies or not, but what really bothers you is your ability to see whether they're telling a lie or not. Okay, so this coming year, it becomes easier to be able to do that. So if you're a life code 4, which is centered around love, okay, love is the 4 frequency, 4 vibration. So we have, in particularly if you're a life code 4, is to be aware of the martyr energy. Okay, so this will be the year, if you're a life code 4, to deal with any residue of codependence. So if you're feeling, I'm not sure if I'm codependent in this relationship, deal with it over this coming year, because it's a great opportunity for you to actually heal any martyr energy. For everybody else, this is very strong, which is to make sure that you are not the martyr in relationships. Okay, so also to be aware of any codependent traits. This also matches with that 2 and 3 vibration in terms of how you see truth. Now, position 5, oh, not position 5, rather, life code 5, it's will, and life code 5s tend to be the warriors. They, you know, the ones that kind of go into battle, don't necessarily know what their outcome is, but they're just going to battle anyway. You've got the healer, if you're a life code 5, it's coming in. So this is a softer year for you. Okay, so this feels more of a peaceful year. It's more of a year where you can, rather than see life as a struggle, is to actually reflect upon and deal with things that have caused you previous aggravation. And if an apology is necessary, or you think in order to be able to solve a relationship difference where maybe someone's been a martyr, or you felt martyr, there is an apology that works well. Either you're on the receiving end of it, or you give an apology, which helps to heal differences. So this is a kinder year on a life code 5. It's a softer frequency. You don't have to feel that your life is quite such a battle. For everybody else, this is a good one to reflect upon. And this matches with the 3 vibration as to what the year is ahead. This is a less of a fighting year. Okay, this is much more of a, right, okay, let's see what the truth is here. and reflect upon it and deal with it, and don't go into battle. Don't start fighting with people over it. It's really not worth it. You're not going to get anywhere as far as that's concerned. But you may see in the external world people trying to fight or determine what they want and their rights and their this and their that. But actually, what do they want? And you will find quite often that they don't even know themselves what they want. And you'll see that in the year moving forward. Position 6, which is the soul energy. So if, not position, life code 6. If you are a life code 6, you've got the pioneer. Great opportunity this year moving ahead to do something new. Okay? To create something new, to really focus on that in terms of putting an effort in. Don't expect others to do it for you. Life code 6 quite often do, because you've got lots of pathways coming in towards you, so you think things should come to you naturally and you shouldn't have to make an effort. It's time to actually think about how you're going to do something big or something new. This is the year to do it with that pioneer energy. For everybody else, it's about being a little bit more adventurous, okay? But having a deeper belief in yourself that you are capable, and that there is that you have a natural support either within yourself, or that you'll attract support for those big adjustments and big changes. Life code 7. Now this goes very, we've got 2 judge energies on here. Okay, so this is quite a strong theme. I tend to combine decks just to see whether we get the same thing showing up twice. If we do get the same thing showing up twice, it's a big reflective point. So we have the judge showing up twice, once in the 110 and once in the 7 frequency. So if you are a life code 7, again, it matches with the 110 energy. It's about solving any judgment aspects, so self-judgment, judgment of others, isolation kind of components, which would also go with the softening of this 5 vibration for the year moving forward. This is a softening of self-judgment. So this is the year to move through anything that is around self-judgment, or judgment of others that are reflective on yourself, that makes you more defensive and more liable into kind of find yourself in codependent situations, push-pull patterns, all of those. That's a great time for you as a 7 to disperse that energy and move through it. It's a kind year to support you within that. As far as everyone else is concerned, it's about, the 7 vibration is about feelings, and it's about moving beyond judging your feelings, but also feeling judgment towards others. Okay, so this is more about an open mind, an open view of things, and being mindful, going back to this 2 and 3 vibration, as to what the story is. Rather than judge the story, see how you got drawn into it and reflect upon your own anger about that, but also to observe how it's experiencing in the external world, how other people are buying into this judgment or this storytelling frequency, getting furious about it and thinking it's someone else's responsibility to solve. In actual fact, many of the banes of this world is not someone else's problem to solve, it's always our own problem to solve, okay, at some level or another, in terms of our own self-responsibility. For you as an intuitive sensitive, that's really easy for you to do. For everybody else, it's a bit tricky. The people don't tend to do that unless it's forced upon them. So being able to see this as a wider picture for yourself, you will find it hugely beneficial as the year begins. Position life code 8. Life code 8s are normally very practical, very mind focused and that kind of thing. And you would see more of the 7 vibration, which would be more feeling orientated. So in a traditional sense, you would see these cards switch. So you'd see the artist as more in line with the 7, and the judge more in line with the 8, because it's very practical, it's thought process. This is pretty much switched, okay? So in the 8, you've got the artist. So again, this is a softening. This is a softening of hardness. So for you, if you're a life code 8, this is about a year of creative expression and being more inclined to come out of your head and go more into focusing on creative expression and how that's utilized in your life. This side, it gives a really strong feel, say the 3, 5 and the 8, that this is an open year. It's a softening year. The energy is softer for more expression, so getting in touch more with expression. And for this to be showing, the artist to be showing in for the life code at 8, means that this really is a huge opportunity this year ahead for an opening up. It's a natural kind of opening up and being more in touch with vulnerability, not as in, oh, I'm vulnerable, but more in touch with an emotional honesty. So looking at vulnerability as an emotional honesty is a really great year, 2019, to be able to get in touch with that and you really utilize that as an opportunity rather than see it as some kind of insecurity. Okay, really important. In fact, if you go too heavy on the judgment side, on the practical side, anyone who goes too heavy on that in this coming year will find it very uncomfortable. Okay, this is very, very clear because we've got lots of judge here. They'll find that very uncomfortable. For a life code 9, 9s reflect the subconscious, and we've got the hedonist here. So they will see life code 9s being a lot more indulgent in the year ahead, more indulgent of their own desires, of their own wishes and all that kind of thing, which on one side, great, you know, because often life code 9s aren't indulgent of themselves. So yeah, that's great on one side. But on the other side, it's a life code 9 needs to be careful with that hedonist there, that they are not overtly selfish. Okay, so it's about a balance between indulging, self-indulgence, and a balance between what's indulgent and you know, in order to access more expression, and what's outright selfish. Okay, so you may know life code 9s where one is actually self-aware and they're thinking, okay, so what is more in alignment with what my own needs are in the year ahead, and looking into that. And you might know another life code 9 who isn't self-responsible and is completely selfish in the year moving ahead and trying to and indulging that. But be mindful to remember that this is a year where we don't judge that energy, you observe it. Okay, you observe it. This is a brilliant time. It's a gentle energy. So this 3 energy of the year ahead, it's a gentler energy to be able to see truth from lies, but not to judge the lies. Okay, to see what they reflect in terms of your own self-responsibility and self-learning. And if you keep that in mind for the year ahead, you will have your best year ever. Okay, so do the 2019 NU course. Why do it? Because then it gives you a strong insight into your health, your wealth and relationships to make this energy harmonious for you and your world moving forward. Okay, and you will find that it really sets you up to give you an amazing space to start your year that's way above what everybody else has got. Okay, a depth of intuition, a depth of experience, and a depth of knowing that you will have over and above whatever else is going on in your world, whatever else is going on in your environment. And that depth of knowledge will give you a natural confidence that will help you shape this year moving forward. And remember, as always, that your sensitivity is your greatest asset. Use it wisely. Bye for now.